Okay, welcome back once again to Disco Elysium. We have some objectives here nearby first. Then we're gonna go back and hopefully start doing stuff with the main quest, I guess.
Yes?
I'm becoming rich.
A pane of eternite has been planted into the snow, barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough. The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
A bridge.
The shaggy head.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? Shoot. I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth.
This is why I didn't go into the tent. Typical delinquency.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I know. I should have been able to control them, and I will in the future. May I ask? What did you tell them? Oh, right. That's wise. Take your time. Oh, that. You're not going to believe me.
She's less prone to blurt it out, crab man, than the others.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still. And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there.
Okay,
He
but
was completely silent.
how much drugs were you on when you saw this?
He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me.
Like a crab, you say?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
Come on, she obviously could. She already went into detail.
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
I have a mesh tank. Well, not right now.
A crab and a banger?
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw. I don't blame you. I mean, I wouldn't believe me either. I'm surprised Noid did. My associates? Sorry. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and...
To the cops.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
Heavy wooden door. The lock turns easily. You hear a click.
Let's go.
A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark inner in the heart of the city. The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent.
Noise reducing technology.
And then it's gone. Almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. It seems the sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly unusual. You can hardly hear your own breathing. You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total. Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers. The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head.
Can you hear anything? I wonder why the church was built with such strange acoustics.
Maybe the church was designed this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing on its premises.
Could be.
He doesn't seem entirely convinced, though. The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
Yeah, that was expected.
Just darkness without end. It makes your head spin. You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you, with maybe it's possible to talk to it. Is that a man? Looks more like part of the carpentry of the building came alive and is now studying you intently. The crab man. The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady,
Kim
unreadable
seeing
gaze.
this or not?
Then
I want to know
speaks.
that.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. You come to the right place.
That accent is Villalobos, a peninsula in Mesk and a district in Jamrock. There's a sizable contingent of Villalobos-speaking Mesks in Rivershoal.
I'm here to receive the mother's love. You can too, Holmes. And when you ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of that despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Hey, and what was that about, the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
Oh yeah, sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over here. I know it's hard to admit that you got a problem. I was like you once. Couldn't take an honest look into my own heart and see I was in pain.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
The only thing we need to talk about is how the mother can really help you, Holmes. This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game? 'Tis not an act, my liege. Saving perchance he hath deceived his very self. This
Never known myself to be a crab, but if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it. I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique.
That's not the only technique he's working on. Look at those carved sculptures. And is that a satchel of tools over there?
Sure am. Whittling wood used to be something I just did to busy my hands. Now I use those same hands in service of something greater than my own restlessness.
All right, let's consider the context and meaning here.
It's all just for the mother, man. No need to overthink it. I was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone. No, man. You gotta let that shit go. Then the mother's light touch will fill you with rapture.
Do you remember your name, sir?
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore. That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters. The ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me. Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore. Anyway. Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company. Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
The Aita is Grandma?
You just have to wait until she comes back, or...
Or search through her radio computer.
This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there. A way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration. I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. Oh, that's no simple question, Ese. She is one who can be painted or sculpted.
I mean, he doesn't object to having a nightclub here, but the place is called like the Church of Silence, so weird. And second of all, no, I'm not gonna let them open their drug lab here. I don't care about the club, but they wanted to make drugs, so I cannot allow that.
She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the stick.
That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or two about that.
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
Too gleeful, those words. He is lying. Not to you, to his very own self.
I heard that before, Way, and I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night? No worries, man. I know this shit takes time. Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, Way. It didn't belong to me. I think they were. A long time ago. I had to shed them like skins to get closer to the center of the silence. You could have them. I don't need them. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. I don't mean literal singing, Holmes. This is the mother of silence we're talking about. It's the singing of a burning heart. You may be thinking, but fire crackles. No, Holmes. That's the material that's burning. The flames that...
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
Police raid a while back.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job.
It looks like he truly... A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on. We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case. It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
The one you saw earlier was the Ream Civic. This is the Ream Prefect, a model number RC7024. The Ream Prefect is the governmental version of the commonly used Ream Civic model. Although mostly based on the same technology, the Ream Prefect is equipped with better noise attenuation circuits. You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice...
Good afternoon. Votre accident
Not you again.
Saint-Brun. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1.
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio.
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log? Good. Please repeat the past.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
Received. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard. Nothing happens. in white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel. Cold wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. Snowdrifts cover the floorboards at your feet. Above, you feel her multicolored eyes on you, inspecting you. The woman looks down at you standing there. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye. Of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times as you stand in the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles, her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the small It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding.
On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only animals had roamed before, in the wild reeds.
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them, the 7 sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for... We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin. It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and no amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men. The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit. More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate innocentic rule should it coincide with our time. And innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. And innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office. No, we are alone. 300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi, she is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel, and the many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Suresnes, modern-day Sir La Clé. Also, that she was gorgeous beyond beauty. Terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state. A scalpel, a piercing. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous. It was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history. The DeLorean era. Wow, indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Riel Belt. Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic. Although she's often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day. Constantly surrounded by her terriers, she was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs. The Mesk state tried to detach itself from innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity, suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb. In icons such as this, she was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacific. Mare Inter. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid. This subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes. What are you thinking of, if I may ask? Okay. It's just that you've been looking at that window for quite long now, and it's cold in here. This church, the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here. This isn't a good place to get lost in.
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif below them both. Unknown. A motor carriage, a gunshot, someone falling into it, or maybe just hooligans looking for something to break. The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence Day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, 30 years, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail. Below both women, in luminous black letters, après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau. And then along the left side, après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism, a summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the insulindian, on human thinking. A tremendous sea change akin to finding life after death. Could these words be the password that unlocks the filament memory?
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however. Justice, union, prudence, and force.
Yeah, sounds like a revolution. Change that.
Eyes cool.
The mother of humanism towers above you. The machine's keyboard, the speaker.
Good afternoon, votre accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian repeater station 1. Good.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
Receive votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Good.
Let's look around.
No.
A hint system.
Received. Votre accident. Is there good?
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
Still no. Received. Votre good.
The machine's key.
Okay, so not the quote on the class, I guess. I thought maybe that was it. Let's look around where? I mean, we've inspected everything. You know the password?
Oh, hey, Wei, there's coffee in the back. Too many times essay. You need it for something.
Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information, especially in the name of public safety.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is
That was it,
afterlife.
so I can
death.
guess it.
What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita. I think we're done here, essay.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure how it's...
Me neither, Kim, but we're here now, so
Hey,
why not?
Her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember? You have the headless Falcon Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back. So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for.
But where do I put it?
The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A crack runs across the... Why? That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else? I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. The mother of humanism towers above you.
Okay, what do I do with the quest now? Yeah, okay, we'll just forget about this one.
The machine's keyboard is still the speak.
Good afternoon. Votre accident. Good. Please repeat the passcode. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please. Votre accident is there. Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard. The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal. The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the 7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking ESCA series, something advanced.
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money but at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business. The one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be our former co-workers. Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good. I don't want anyone distracting me from that disco man. Must be a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her.
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with the machine.
No. It was a great idea. You're learning things. This is how you learn things about machines. March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also, some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer. You're a master circuit bender.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
You won't find any answers from here. It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
Okay, and how long does that take? Let's check outside, talk to those kids again, but I don't know what to do with them. I mean, I just want them to leave.
Hello again.
Hi again. So, how are things going? And? What happened? Oh man! Who is he? What did you think? Really? Huh. Interesting. What's he doing in the church? No matter. Is he gonna be a problem? Yeah, Noid is right. Let's get back to the point.
These guys will never catch him. You will never catch him. There's nothing to do.
But he's likely up to no good. He's a crabman, man. A menace to society. I dunno, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have nice friendly hyper time?
I guess it's not a massive problem, now that I think of it.
Everyone is welcome.
To dance till the morning light!
Maybe. I guess we'll figure something out. Okay, but what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes? Did you see her? A programmer? That's odd. What was she like? Did you ask her about the nightclub? Come on, man. You've got to talk to her for us. Report back to me when you've done so, all right? He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music. You know, a host, a declaimer of slogans.
Interesting, sire. A bit like you.
Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate with him. Yeah, sometimes, when I stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first up.
The man smiles mysteriously. I get it. He's a puzzle.
As always,
The young man with
This is hardcore. It's hardcore! Skibbity, skibber danger. I am the rearranger.
Okay, if we can't talk to her now, I guess we go back to the other side again. Can't be just waiting here for something.
What is it? Yes. Or no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper. I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of program. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager.
Nope. Yes. No, you're right. I'm not. I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything. I use the AR-1 as my RAIM prefix processing unit. Mm-hmm. Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you? All right. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good and on the front. The unified front of radio waves. Licensed and controlled by Lintel in the east, Insulin. It's all around us. That...
Like love.
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof anyway. You should do some research before you decide to buy anything. I'm working. Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point?
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate.
So you do know something about computers. You're right. Prefect is used mostly by the government peeps. No, I don't. Because I needed something good for my investigation and RAIM Civic is widely agreed to be below all standards. So I had to upgrade. Besides, owning a RAIM prefect isn't such a big deal anymore.
No, actually, it is kind of a big deal. You don't see REAM prefects in every police department, for example.
I know a friend of a friend who used to freelance for the Coalition. I was actually aiming for the military-grade RAIM Rational series, but couldn't find. Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as RAIM Civic, so it's kind of a ripoff. But it does have better they are connected to my RAIM Prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, They're hers.
Great. You really like those questions, don't you? I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
I can. You don't own this property. If no one owns it, I guess it's a government-owned property, so I'll throw you out.
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Wait, what? She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that. Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
Easy. You measure it by the world around it.
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. But how do I figure it out? Exactly. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. But honestly, it's not progressing very well. Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume. There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place. I know. No, I don't. Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work. Great. Thanks. What?
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Yeah. Like all the time. My tent neighbors don't really ease up with their partying. Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music. This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here. Take a guess, why don't you? Bingo! That's exactly what they're up to.
Ah, wonderful. Now this house of worship is also going to be a drug lab. Always something fascinating happening in tents.
So that's settled. Great. No nightclubs in the church then. The Swallow, you mean? What about it? Great. Thanks.
Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too. Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street. You must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and derivative
I have a new
artists
job.
and writers of the world. Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble.
Okay, I just want to get rid of those kids, and then I guess we'll end it for today. I was disappointed that we didn't have an option to talk to her about the old office. I mean, I have the cube or the matrix or what it's, the tape from the old office, and I can get in there if she gives me the password. But that wasn't an option to speak about.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Yes? What's the deal? And? What did she say?
What a pity. That's my favourite thing in the world. And she doesn't like it.
A shame. What can we do now? Do you see a way out of this jam? And into a laser-lit future of dance?
Unity! Dance!
And you can't just evict her?
Look at you, honour man.
No, Noid. He's right. Maybe we've approached it the wrong way after all. I'm sure there's a workaround, if that's okay with her. We only want to get in the church and spread the joy and ecstasy of music.
The lines in the dark exist!
At least Crabman seems like an advanced being. He's hard.
Yeah, he can do his climbing thing in the tower. And the programmer, does she like anodic dance music?
Egghead cannot believe what you just said. It makes him pump the jam a little slower for a moment, but then he returns to the full.
No worries. We'll figure it out. If coexisting fails, you can always muscle her out, right? If it's all okay with... Oh, man! But the drug lab was like an integral part of getting the club going.
For me, it was my favourite part. Chemistry's great. Besides, imagine all the drugs we could do if we had our own drug. I mean, anodic music is great and all, but drugs, they make you feel really good. When did you last feel really, really good? Pull out that stick, lawman. You'd absolutely love drugs. They'll make you feel transcendent.
Okay, both let's proceed with the quest. I just want to end it, tell them no, go away or I'll arrest you.
Excellent! Good luck, my friend. Goodbye, off.
Huh? Hi again. So, how are things going?
Yes. What? Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. Yes. What? Yeah. Oh, it's the one they...
It's like he's lying to you, my liege.
Yeah, I can end
But
it
he's
here.
slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of. He nods enthusiastically, no doubt.
Yes. What?
He nods enthusiastically.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know? I can't give you a precise... And they have roots in ancient mass society. Totally.
The pericanas love is
Unity.
Unit...
make some noise.
You feel it, the anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters. Feels good.
Yeah!
Do it for them.
I didn't want to say...
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving.
Goodbye, off.
Oh, I can't arrest them or make them go away, so... screw this quest. Okay, let's end it here for now. Next time we'll go back to the main island, do the important stuff. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.